Nice job completing level 1. Let's move on to level 2. So we're on 2E, remainders into decimals. So when you used to divide, you used to have remainders. Nope, nope, nope. That is not how 6th graders divide. They know how to divide decimals all the way through without any remainders. Okay? Really simple. So have your pencil ready, pack it out, and here we go. So we want to turn remainders into decimals. It's kind of like dividing whole numbers. Very simple. Same process. There are only 2 additional steps added onto the process. I want you to write these out. So we have pop it up, meaning pop up the decimal. You'll see what I mean in a bit. And add a 0. Okay? Those are what you'll need. Once you get to that point where you normally would write a remainder, you're going to do these steps instead. So we start off exactly the same as we did before. We figure out our dividend and divisor. We set up our problem. So remember, first person home would be, first number when it's written like this is dividend, and that is the first number, so it gets to park in the garage. Second number is the divisor, which is 8, and so it has to park in the outside the garage. Okay, so we're going to follow the exact same steps we did before, where we divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. If you were having a bit of trouble with that, you probably should back up and take another look at 1C notes, just to make sure you got it. But if you're ready, let's go. Following along, 8 doesn't fit into 3, so we say 8 fits into 31 4 times, so, 3 times, and 3 times 8 gives us 24, okay? And if this video is ever going too fast for you, please feel free to pause it to catch up, okay? So we're going to subtract, we get 7. Remember, we check to make sure that that is less than our divisor. Otherwise, that meant we missed groups up here. So 7 is less than 8, so we can bring down our 6. Okay, so now we're asking how many times does 8 fit into 76? It fits in 9 times. 9 times 8 gives us 72. We're going to subtract that, and we end up with 4. So here is in the past where you would have said 39 remainder 4, because you ran out of numbers, you didn't end up with 0 down here, you had leftovers. But nope, 6th graders, we learn how to turn those into decimal answers, because that's really what we use in the real world more often. We don't typically say, I have $39, remainder 4. That doesn't make sense, okay? So we want to turn these into decimals. So the way we do that is we pop it up. Well, when I'm saying pop it up, that means we need a decimal. Well, I don't see a decimal here, but you should know that behind all whole numbers are decimals, just like when we talked about this in adding and subtracting decimals. So we can go ahead and add a decimal behind our dividend, which is 316, and then we pop it up into our answer. You want to do that right away so that you don't forget about it. Otherwise, it completely changes your answer. So that decimal point makes a huge difference. So once you've done that, now you can add a 0 behind your dividend, because that's all this is. 316 as a whole number, I could put a decimal and add as many zeros behind it as I want. Okay, it's just saying that they're not is nothing left there, right? It's just as a placeholder. Okay, so that's why we don't normally write them, but we do have them there in these kind of circumstances. So we add our 0, and now we have that number to bring down. So we bring the 0 down. So pop up the decimal, add a 0, bring it down. So now we can continue. So now 8 fits into 40. Yay! It fits in exactly 5 times. So we get 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract, we end up with 0. So I do not have to keep on going. Because I don't have any more numbers. I did finally get 0 down here. So my final answer is 39.5. So either circle or rewrite that. I can't get my circle to pop up. There we go. 39.5 is our final answer. Now, if we had gotten a remainder down here, then we would just add another 0, bring it down, keep going. Ours won't go too far past the decimal, but you might have to do it once, twice, maybe 3 times. Okay? If it goes much further than that, we usually round to the nearest hundredth. But if you can go to the third one evenly, then we do. So keep going unless you're told otherwise. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to try this next one on your own. The only teeny tiny difference and it's actually easier, the decimal is already there for you. So when you go to set up your dividend, right, so fill in which one's your dividend, which one's your divisor, and set up your problem, just like we did up here, your decimal is already there. So I suggest you pop it up right away so that you don't forget about it and you don't lose track of where it is. Okay? Now you might need to add zeros at the end. You might not. It just depends. So go through the process as we did up here. The only difference is you already have your decimal to pop up. So you might need to add zeros possibly, but otherwise give it a shot. When you are done, you think you've got that problem done, you can either check with a friend if you think that they have the answer too, or you can check with the answer key. But I want you to try it on your own and check because I think you can do it. Alright? Give it a go. When you're done and you've checked, move on to the next video.